cold Monday morning here in the economic capital, Douala. Thanks for joining us for the first edition for the week, a Prime Flash on My Media Prime Television. With me, Audrey, Zatsa. Barrister Yves Claes Kwanu is the newly elected president of the General Assembly of Cameroon Bar Association, with the vice president being Barrister Ernest Bakar Asho. They were elected by their peers on the second day of the elective General Assembly of the Bar, which took place yesterday at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex. The newly elected president and vice president of the General Assembly immediately took office from the eldest and youngest members of and proceeded with the organization of elections for the 15 members of the Bar Council as stipulated by the lawyers. President Paul Biya and wife Chantal Biya have donated a sum of 80 billion francs CFA to the Manfé District Hospital in Magno Division for its reconstruction. Victor Arain Congo Mengot was the special envoy of the head of state for this submission on Saturday, June 18. The hospital was completely burnt down by some men believed to be separatist fighters. The charity organization of Cameroon's First Lady, Chantal Biya, CERAC, has brought comfort and encouragement to the rural women of Bankim Mayo Banyo Division, Adamawa region of Cameroon. The delegation visited this part of the country Saturday, June 18, offering multiple gifts to the vulnerable people, an initiative of the First Lady, Chantal Biya. The population of Tuburo in Mayore, northern part of Cameroon, continue to lament about poor water system in that part of the country. The people of the northern region revealed that they were promised 3,000 drilling sources of water in the last Cameroon election by CPDM, but till then nothing has been done. We move out of the country where the remains of Patrice Lumumba, the first Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo, which were kept by Belgium after his assassination in 1961, will be returned to his family this Monday, June 20. This will be during an official ceremony in Brussels. According to reports, the existence of Patrice Lumumba's tooth came to light in a 1999 interview with a former Belgian police commissioner who admitted having kept it as a trophy. The symbolic handover Congolese independent leaders' remains is meant to soothe a family and country's historic pain and equally revives memories of European colonialism. Back to Cameroon. Cameroon has joined the world to commemorate the International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence, a day aimed at standing in solidarity with survivors to support them during this period of crisis and the pandemic recovery. Moni Emanuela has details.
The day was created not only to raise awareness but to honor survivors of sexual violence and to pay tribute to all those who have devoted and lost their lives around the world when standing up against these crimes. Sexual violence is now widely recognized as a deliberate strategy in their homes. It is rightly seen as a threat to international peace and security, a serious violation of international humanitarian and human rights law, and a major impediment to post-conflict reconciliation and economic development. Women and children in the world suffer most from this. In Cameroon, women in the far north region plagued by the Boko Haram attacks have been raped and forced into marriages by terrorists. The northwest and the southwest regions as well have suffered from these, as women and children have been suffering for the past 6 years from rape, torture, and have been forced from their homes. The date was chosen to commemorate the adoption on the 19th of June 2008 of Security Council Resolution 1920, in which the Council condemned sexual violence as a tactic of war and an impediment to peace building. In response to the rise in violent extremism, the Security Council adopted the resolution S/RES/2331/2016, the first to address the nexus between trafficking, sexual violence, terrorism, and transitional organized crime. Acknowledging sexual violence as a tactic of terrorism, it further affirmed that victims of trafficking and sexual violence committed by terrorist groups should be eligible for official redress as victims of terrorism.
The Cameroon Ministry of Trade has suggested to review international trade rules to curb hunger crisis. This contribution was made by the Ministry or the Minister of Trade Luc Magloire Atangna Barga during the 12th edition of the World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference, which took place in Geneva recently. Mwanze Njokyogo has details.
The World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference is a meeting of ministers from across the world with the aim of reviewing the functions of the multilateral trading system and take action on the future of the World Trade Organization. Representing Cameroon during this conference, Cameroonian Trade Minister Luc Marguam Bargara Tangana suggests that world trade rules are unfair to Africa and therefore should be revised. He equally adds that Africans expect the World Trade Organization to launch bold programs to restore normal rules for regulating global flows without delay, an initiative which will help in curbing hunger. In addition, the commerce boss made known that Cameroon is ready to discuss about issues such as food insecurity, which threatens a significant part of the world's population, the deregulation of supply chains, which prevents the poorest countries from benefiting from international trade, the contribution of trade to curbing the coronavirus pandemic, particularly through the facilitation of production and access to vaccines, the imbalance of global rules in the agricultural sector. At the end of this meeting, participants agreed of a fund to help members implement an eventual agreement on fisheries subsidies. Technical and capacity building assistance will be accorded to developing and less developed country members to help in boosting fishery in their country. A voluntary World Trade Organization funding mechanism will be established in cooperation with relevant internal organizations such as the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization and the International Fund for Agricultural Development. It is worth bearing in mind that Cameroon will host the 13th edition of the World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference in 2024.
And that was it for today's edition of Prime Flash, produced by Elvis Modika with the technical assistance of Chinda Romeo. Thanks for watching, faithful viewers. Stay glued for more programs on The African Eye.